You know, that's the reason I don't understand people are talking about selling a small business program and you don't even have the home-based business rider. I don't understand that. You know, and, you know, years ago, I got the legal plan for the self-employed because of the tax situation. Now, there are a lot of people, let me tell you some people who are just twiddly-diddy-dee, twiddly-diddy-dum stuff people. They're the people that they look at every little thing, they count every little penny. Now, I don't know how many years we've had it so that the home-based business rider now has that same benefit. But guess what? I've never called a home office and said, oh, let me change my plan from $49 or $58.95 down to 40, you know, 50, 45 because, you know, I don't need this legal sham. I'm not even thinking about that. That's the plan I took. That's the plan I took out, you know. So what I'm saying is, you know, at what point in time are you really going to be serious about what it is that you're doing? You know, there's a saying, they say, if you were arrested for being a Legal Shield associate, would there be enough evidence to convict you? That's what's up. Because many of us are just kind of going through the motions. We're just kind of playing with this. You know, the same people that play around with this are the same people that say, oh, just wait until June when the commercials come out. You know, that's not going to do you any good if you're going to wait. Listen, if you're not doing it now, you're not going to do it in June. That's not going to make any difference. But you know, when we see somebody like Tracy Broughton get up here, I've seen her at convention. I cried when she walked out there, but I never really heard her story until today. And I'm sitting there, but I'm crying because of what I've not done. I'm crying because I'm sitting there thinking about how many times have I made an excuse about something one way or another as to why I didn't do certain things, and I'm looking at her with what she's done. You know, I'm telling you, every single one of you all, we all got to do a checkup from the neck up when it comes to stuff like that about what we're doing, okay? Do you see value? Do you see value in what you have and what you're doing with people? You got to know that what you have is not just anything anybody else can get anyplace else. You got to understand that, okay? All right. Now, never ask a question that you don't know the answer to. Remember, selling is not telling, selling is what? Asking. You've heard that over and over again. And you know, it's funny when Melissa was going through that about the 4 C's of selling, because I'm also I'm a disciple of Kyle Kimbrell, and I got some of that same stuff from him, and I used it in my APT classes and stuff like that. And when she was saying it, I was like over and over. Before she said it, I was just like saying it to myself. Oh, I'm telling you, this stuff works. It really does work. It's great. All right, here's some sample questions. Have you ever had to fire an employee? See, you're talking to the business owner now. Now, everything I'm doing is going to lead from a small business sale to a group. Okay? That's what I'm doing. That's the whole purpose of this. Have you ever had to settle a dispute between your employees? Is there a written policy that is given to the employee at the time of their hiring? See, these are all things that need to be done, but let me tell you something. When you did it in the 89%, the you know category, y'all won't forget that. You know, when you did it in that 95% on back category, then guess what? A lot of this stuff is not there. But when you bring it up to a business owner, it's like, oh my goodness, you got to be kidding me. I need to have something like that in place? How often do you have your employment application reviewed? They don't have one. See, you already know what the deal is. Did you know that many of the lawsuits brought by current and former employees usually center around promotion, sexual harassment, discrimination, and termination? How much do you pay your labor attorney? They don't have one. They don't have one. You see what I'm saying? These are things that you know already. And when you're doing it, when you're asking these questions, it's almost like you're salivating on the inside because you're sitting there saying, oh man, it's kind of like you're sitting there, linger long but die you must. You come in my way. I don't have to worry about you because you're just going to fall right in my lap. I don't have to worry about it, okay? Do you need a labor attorney? Once again, these are questions. How often do you document the files of your employees? Do you let your attorney review those files as well? What advice has your attorney given you about your termination procedure? What procedure are you using to collect debts? See, we're getting all into the small business plan right here on the spot, just asking some questions. See, here's what we're doing. We're selling, but we're not telling. We're asking questions. See, we've gone from being sold to being bought. Why? Because here's what's happened. Every time you ask a question and you know you're getting the answer that you want, it's almost like as you're doing these questions, it's almost like this is like a meat tenderizer. I know that's funny to you, isn't it? It's almost like this is a meat tenderizer. It ain't but a couple of us know about what all that come from, okay? It's like a meat tenderizer. Because you know the steak is just getting ready to sizzle. Because as you ask these questions, it's almost like, okay, they're melting, okay? How much does your business consultant charge? See, now I'm into the what? Go small biz side. How much does your business consultant charge? Have you spoken with them about new ways to market your service? Maybe via the internet? Have you ever wanted to get advice on increasing business revenue and profits? See, these are all questions that you're asking the business owner. And it's leading to what? A sale of the small business plan, and then we're going to show you how you segue that into group, okay? Did you know that your business consultant can help you in the areas of tax, accounting, marketing, finances? What if that were a way to have much needed legal forms at your fingertips at no charge to you? How valuable would it be for you to have your own website? Have you priced the cost of getting one? Most of the people I talk to talk about having a website, they talk about $1,500, $1,000, $1,500, $2,000, things of that nature. So how great you think it's going to be when we start talking about at no cost to you? Do you think that would be valuable? Just see, here's what I'm saying. Sometimes what you got to do is ask yourself these questions yourself, because you are business owners. That's the reason I love that when Melissa says what she says about you and I as business owners. We think about things like this. We have these kind of things that we have, you know, that we consider when we're talking about our everyday activities. You know, one of the things I like to say to them, so you know, everything on your desk could be a legal decision. Every piece of paper you pick up, every decision you make, every decision any of your employees make, it can, and then I like to ask stuff like this. What's the one thing you feel that can shut your business down? Guess what everybody says? Lawsuit. Well, what do you have in place to protect you from that? Okay? Now, let the owner know how valuable it would be that they can now huddle up with their business coach and attorney even after you leave. Because what we're doing, we're encouraging the use and getting consultation. Not only from a standpoint of on the phone with the attorney, but also through email or fax with the business coach. Now, one of the things we did, and I mentioned it last week, that I have incorporated is that when I'm doing a group presentation, you know, when I talk about the unlimited consultation, I now automatically say now, this includes if you own or operate a business or your spouse owns or operates a business. Guess what? In the school, one of the teachers comes up to me right after that and he says, because what I say is, if you have a situation like that, we can give you a discounted rate even on that program. Because, let me explain something to you. If in a group setting you sell a home-based business rider or legal plan for the self-employed, they'll still get the $1.05 discount. They still get that the same way. And it's just taken out of their paycheck. So can you imagine, I'm sitting here saying, you know, your regular job that you have as a teacher or as whatever it is that you're doing, then guess what? Now you get a chance to let that particular job deduct the payments for your business. And you still get a chance to write it off. This is some good stuff, y'all, even if I did it. Stress the value of unlimited consultation. That's what we're talking about now, about having the information as far as about the small business is concerned. And, you know, really hammer that about the consultation. You know, I don't know whether any of y'all have noticed it or not, but on the plane, in the back seat where they have those advertisements, there's an advertisement in there in one of the magazines that talks about unlimited consultation for your business for $85 a month. Now, my little small brain says that if that advertisement is still in these magazines now, somebody is paying $85 a month, and that no letters, no phone calls, strictly consultation. Now you tell me how you can go from there to what we have at $75 a month, and you get all this other stuff with it. See, sometimes we're not thinking about, instead of getting on the plane and just reading this stuff just for, you know, pleasure purposes, you ought to be reading it all the time, thinking to yourself, How can I turn that into a profit center based on what I'm seeing? Okay? Stress the value of document review. That's very important. The unlimited business questions via fax or email. See, I hear people that's got a limited mind, they say stuff like this. Oh man, they can't talk to the business coach. It only has to be done by email or fax. Well, here's what you're telling me right now. And it's an associate that's asking this. Here's what you're telling me right now. You don't even believe in the service. Because you're sitting here saying that that's not really that good of a deal. Now, the person you're sitting in front of will read your music of that. They'll pick up on that. Because somewhere in your presentation you'll say, well, then, if you have to do that with your coach, I'm sorry, but it's by email or fax. But, the other thing you can talk to, you'll say it some kind of way. I'm telling you, you will bring it out. Assume the sale. Remember that a small business owner typically has little credit and assets as collateral. Now, not all of them, but let me tell you what a small business owner is. Somebody that had a little bit of credit, had some money stashed away someplace, but they're the same person like you and I were before we got into this. They don't have, all you got to do is listen. If they say 7 out of 10 Americans have some type of legal question, legal problem, legal situation, that includes the business owner. That includes them as well. Thank you, sir. Okay. Okie dokie. What I love about this is that they'll even correct you even when you're up on stage. And I ain't getting mad with them either. I ain't mad with them. Okay? Now, there's no difference than other people that you may know. They most likely don't have a will, and this is where, come on, all right? Y'all know what I mean. Y'all know what I mean. They're the same people. See ya. They're the same people like you and I are. You follow what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that they have more responsibilities. They have more responsibilities as a result of that, okay?